So I'm here celebrating Sibling Day with my friend Hannah, who has the most siblings of anybody that I ever known. I believe it's 14, 15?
I have 14, so there's 15 of us.
It's 15 in total. Could you go through the list?
Yeah. We've got Kelly, Timmy, Rusty, Christy, Sarah, Luke, Paul, Hannah, Beth, Ben, Becky, Amy, Jesse, Troy, and Eli.
Wow. So usually there's a older child, a middle child, a younger child. Where do you fall in that?
I'm the exact middle, so I'm number 8. So
Wow.
older, 7 younger, 7 brothers, 7 sisters. So my parents did a good split.
That's wild. Well, that's cool because you already had like a ton of siblings when you were born, and then you got to still see a ton of siblings born after that.
Yeah, so you go from at some point I was like the younger, and at some point I was the oldest in the house, and then now it's like middle.
How did people react to the fact that you had so many siblings when you were younger? I mean, I think as an older person, it's probably easier for that not to be the first thing that pops up in conversation, but when you
Yeah. I think that people just looked at us as the Devendorf gang. Like in school, you didn't mess with the Devendorfs because you knew you mess with one, you got how many others that are coming for you.
Did you, because there's so many of you, are you guys cliquey? Are you closer to some than others? Are there little subgroups within the siblings?
Yeah, I think there's lots of subgroups too. So it just depends on what it is. Everyone's so different. You have people that are more serious. People are more joke around. And so it's just kind of what is it for? You have the sibling where they'll give you tough love if you want advice. They're just going to tell you exactly what they think. And then you have ones that you go to when you know that they're always going to be on your side. You're fuck that other person. So I think it's good. You have both, and then you have the ones that are the partiers, and then the ones that are more outdoorsy, and it's just a really good range. So you can go to different people for different things.
I mean, did you guys have friends growing up, or was it just not needed because there were so many of you already? Did people come over to the house and hang out?
Yeah, so we had the house. So on top of having a million people, we were the house. A lot of kids who were only children or only had one other sibling that they like to hang out at because there was always something going on. And so my mom was just kind of what's another one, right? So we always had other kids coming over, spending the night. I think my sister at one point had one of her friends. My sister wasn't even home for 3 days, and I think one of her friends came over and stayed for 3 days. And
just replaced her.
We're kind of where's our sister? Why are you here?
Have you ever gotten a chance to talk to your mom about the whole why she had so many kids? What was her need for wanting to do that?
Yeah, so I did. I asked my mom that once, and she said your dad was horny and I was stupid. Which was completely too much TMI. So I was like, Mom, don't ever say that ever again.
Well, I know a few of them. And this is TMI, but I know a few of them aren't about horniness because I know that a couple of your siblings are adopted. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. So 4 of my siblings are actually adopted from the Philippines, and once my mom my parents have 11 together. After they had the 11, my dad was like, all right, no more having kids, all right? So my mom, being the strategic one that she is, found a loophole. She was like, you said we couldn't have kids. You never said we couldn't adopt more.
Yeah.
So we ended up adopting my brother, and then we were doing some work with orphanages, and we met my sisters, and we fell in love with them, so we had to have them too. And then finally, my brother came too, and then it got to the point where my dad's like, all right, no more kids, and my mom just started buying dogs. So a house full of kids and a house full of dogs. Yeah.
So I'm an only child, so I've always been fascinated by this. Have you ever imagined yourself without siblings?
Well, by the way, being an only child, be careful because my dad was an only child. You never know. It's a weird. I think it's really hard. Just like it's an only child, and it's hard for an only child to imagine having a lot of siblings. I think it's hard for somebody who's from a big family to imagine having no siblings. Like sometimes you want to kill them, sometimes you love them to death, but at the end of the day, like you wouldn't want it any other way.
Right.
Like it's just really weird to look back at all my childhood memories and even memories now. And I just can't imagine going home for the holidays and not having each and every one of them there, it's, so I can imagine it, but I prefer not to.
So what are some of the pros and cons of having so many siblings?
So I think the pros of having so many siblings is, if something happens and you get something happens, you get a new job or you're excited about something, there's always somebody to call. Like, even if the first 5 people don't pick up the phone, like, you can just keep
right.
going. So there's always going to be someone around, someone to kind of be your ally in something, and always kind of have. They're always there, like family is for life. And I think the flip side of that is it's a con too, because there's so many people to miss. Like for me, just moving to California, and all my family's in New York and Florida. Like we've been able to keep kind of close in terms of like a lot of them are in clusters in New York and Florida, but I think it would be amazing if we could all be together, and I don't think that's just reality with when you have that many people and that many life choices. So I think that's kind of the biggest con is
you're always missing somebody.
You're always missing somebody.
Yeah.
You get one person close, one person moves further away, and so you just get to the point where you just got to be like, what do I want to do, and make sure you just make the effort to kind of stay in touch.
What's your deal? How many kids do you want to have?
That's one of those questions that I don't know if I have an answer for. But, at one point I was just like, I loved having a big family, and I'm like, oh, this would be awesome. And then you start getting older, and that starts becoming a reality, and you're like, hell no!
I know, so, it's fucking scary.
Yeah, like I could see, myself having just a couple, but I don't think I'm going to go anywhere near my parents' numbers.
Is your mom, like, expecting grandchildren? Is she, like, bothering you about it?
No. Luckily, that's one of the pros of having so many siblings is she's already got 9. So you don't have to worry about that because, the other siblings have started having kids, and it's weird, though, like, when you're younger siblings, so 2 of my younger sisters have kids, and it's just weird when even the younger ones start to have it, and you're like, oh my god, we're growing up. Like, it's weird. It's cool, but it's weird.
Yeah. That's wild. Do you have a family photo with all 15 of you?
We actually don't have any photos. We've never all been together at the same time before.
Oh my god.
Been pretty close. We've had some holidays where we were missing 1 or 2. But that's just the tough thing when people get older and they have their own families. Like my eldest sister has 3 kids, so traveling to New York, isn't always a possibility during the holidays just because it's a lot, So we don't have a family photo that's all of us. We have a photo that has most of us in it. But yeah, we've never been in the same place at the same time.
What a bummer. Well, I hope that happens at some point.
It's on my bucket list.
Yeah. Oh, fucking cool. So, National Sibling Day. Call them all. Tell them you love them.
Yeah. Shout out to you guys. Love you. I miss you all.